Hello, everyone, and a warm welcome to Digital Dialogues powered by CXO Digital Pulse. We have been talking a lot about various emerging technologies. In this session, we will be specifically exploring the purview of blockchain. And to discuss that, we have Hilal Ahmad, who's the CISO of Liminal Custody. A very warm welcome, Hilal.
Yeah, so Pratik, thank you so much for having me. I joined Liminal Custody a couple of weeks back, and it's a bit early. It's exciting. Prior to this, as you know, I used to work for Recipe as a CISO, and prior to that, I used to be the CISO of Dream 11.
And I think you had a wonderful journey.
Oh, I did. Can't complain. I have a very interesting professional journey. Like I have been, if you just take a look at my last four companies that I worked at. So one was like a online travel agency, which was based out of Singapore called a Traveloka. I was the CISO, right? So then I went and joined Dream 11, which is a gaming company.
Yes.
And then I joined a fintech, which is one of the leading fintechs in India. So now I'm at a crypto wallet company, digital custodian wallet company. And these are all different domains. And I think these are very carefully chosen domains for me because I just want to make sure that wherever I go, I don't lose the excitement. I get to learn new things. And that's what keeps me motivated and interested in actually getting the job done.
That's amazing. And this is how we will also gain some insights from your experience.
Sure.
And directly moving to the key theme. So, how is blockchain moving the entire dynamics of crypto in the digital transformation journey of enterprises? If I specifically mention be it BFSI or healthcare, so how do you foresee it?
So I'll tell you one small story, right? So back when I was working with Intuit in the US, so at that time it was a nascent technology. Like it was 2013, 2014 when blockchain was becoming a little bit more mainstream. At that time, what happened was one of our senior leaders actually was given this portfolio, like exploring blockchain.
Okay.
So at that time, right, I understood like, okay, this might be something interesting. Why we are creating a separate charter within the organization for blockchain. So this has the potential to basically be something significant, which might actually disrupt the different businesses that are happening. So that was my first brush with basically trying to see how important it is. So as a company like Intuit, which is into basically financial management, which is into taxation, which is into providing financial products for people to use, which are end user products, why would they be interested in blockchain? So the reason some of these basically companies became so interested in blockchain, in fact, it went to the extent when JP Morgan also started basically exploring blockchain as its primary basically transactional contracting solution, right? At that time, it was suddenly there was a lot of interest into it. So it picked up pace, and then it sort of plateaued for a while.
Okay.
Then it became really significantly fast accelerating technology in the world, one of the fastest, right? So right now, if you see, there's no government in the world, there's no company in the world that's ignoring the fact that blockchain is going to be significantly important for them to do business. And if I look at basically the overall scenario right now, so for me or for my organization to be involved in basically crypto is not something that we feel, oh, it's a cool thing to do, right? But I do believe that it's going to be extremely important. It's going to be a matter of basically doing business where you don't have any intermediaries, you don't have any dependency on one person to maintain the centralized control and things like that. So it is more democratization of financial transactions, more decentralization of the services. Like you have DeFi, DAOs, and all those things that you actually implement. So everything that we do, like the distributed finance or something like that. So they have a very critical impact on the BFSI sector as a whole. But beyond BFSI, right? So there are lot more advances that are happening in logistics, particularly when you do see basically logistics to ports and things like that. All those are basically controlled through blockchain. So now nobody's ignoring it. Now think about it, down the line, 5 years from now, So there will be a significant change in the way we think about it. It's no longer going to be, okay, only banks can afford it, or is even some crypto exchange can afford it, or somebody who's enthusiastic will actually use it. But it's going to be used by everybody. Think about UPI, how UPI got actually adopted mainstream. I'm 100% sure that is going to be exactly the same scenario, where everybody will have to deal with blockchain in some way or the other way.
Okay. And while this technology is there as blockchain, how well does it converges with other emerging technologies like AI?
So it's a difficult question to answer exactly, because we don't think of basically AI and blockchain as being some having a natural kind of like synergy. The reason for that is because by default, like say, all the blockchains, they're like unpredictable, right? So you have nodes actually joining in, you have nodes actually leaving out, you have transactions that happen in a decentralized fashion. So there's no particular way to basically monitor or control basically like how exactly this is going to be done. So now because of its nature of ephemeral nature, and it's the nature of blockchains to be able to be self-sustained within an environment that in which they operate. AI, I think, will be used to kind of like streamline some of the transactional level activities and tasks that we do. Imagine there are some, which is a very relevant data, that most of the uh, traders, the day traders who actually deal with cryptocurrencies and crypto exchange, right? So they want to have like disposable accounts. They want to have so that they start in the morning. They don't want that identity to be available in the evening. So for them, one day is more than enough. So which means that you have to scale the technology to a level where people will be able to basically get access to that kind of facility. So now what happens in that situation is that like uh, AI could potentially be one of the drivers for basically making it more efficient.
Okay.
Like so, because we can implement AI and we predict the account creation and deletion process, the smart contracts, basically like creation and deletion. How long does it basically have eligibility in terms of basically the entire blockchain?
Okay.
Where does it exactly need to go? So that tasks which are basically bringing more efficiency into it, I think that is where it will be actually important. But as far as the core business is concerned, as the core working of the blockchain is concerned, uh, it's very difficult to basically like kind of like anticipate or even predict like how it can be used in the core business, because right now we are just basically like very happy with the decentralized nature and the consensus mechanisms of the blockchain to basically like do all things that it's doing without having any external need for making it a lot more distributed or a lot more scalable and a lot more trusted, right? So we already have those components.
Okay. And does regulations or compliance play any critical aspect for the blockchain when it comes to scalability if enterprises are using them?
100%, right? So I think if you look in the global context, like say, they're all going to be like regulations that go on. For example, we ourselves have multiple basically regulatory requirements that we meet. We have to have licenses to basically deal with
Okay.
establishing basically a crypto wallets or some digital asset management software, right? So when we do that, right, so we have to kind of like work with the regulators to kind of like make sure that okay, we are sustainable, we are reliable, and we are auditable, right? So when you have those kind of requirements, it becomes difficult basically for everybody to start this kind of business, because you may not actually meet all the requirements. And it's very important because uh, like a traditional banking account where you go and withdraw money or deposit money, you want to keep a track of how much you deposit, how much you expected, right? Similarly, in crypto ones, somebody needs to tell you that, okay, you did this and you did that and all that. And in case there is say, a disaster, right? In case there is some basically like some anomaly in the system and you need to compensate someone, right? So you need to have sufficient funds and sufficient resources to basically be able to basically do that kind of transaction. So unless like there is a regulation that demands that you need to have this much in your account, it can be a like it can be a escrow account or something like that, which is important to maintain. And there needs a certain level guarantees that need to be in place to be able to compensate that, right? So then, if in the absence of the regulation, this will not happen. So the customers and the whoever the consumers are going to be at a disadvantage. But so in order for basically the companies to do business in a orderly fashion and then have better governance, I think regulations are not just important, but they should be welcome. And I personally feel that we should have a lot more basically regulations to be able to basically do the things the right way.
Okay.
And also, it is important to have simplified regulations. There should be language should be very very simple. It can be broad, no problem with that, but it should be basically like addressing a specific concern, specific risk that might be arising out of using the technology that we may not necessarily understand fully or even properly.
Okay, great. Thanks, Hilal. It was indeed a very insightful discussion on understanding that how these new emerging technologies are converging with each other, further layering above the other, and creating more opportunities for enterprises. It is just yet to be seen that how they can be leveraged in the right direction, properly under the compliances, and where they head forward.
My pleasure, Pratik, to be here, and thank you for allowing to share my thoughts. It was a pleasure being here. Thank you.
It was indeed our pleasure. So, thank you for being there with us today and keep watching this space for more insightful discussions. Till then, take care.
Thank you so much.